Give me the argument, the best argument you know, for the power of cinema.
Sup, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name's Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan talk about a movie every week. Every week we discuss a new movie. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
Jurassic Park.
Yes, Jurassic Park. But first, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're listening to us, you're listening to us on a podcast platform. So thank you very much for that. If you want to watch us, go to YouTube and look up Peliculas with the Bros. We'll be there. Like I said, we put a new podcast up every week. Usually we do new movies. Today we're doing an older movie because we're getting ready for a new movie called Jurassic World Dominion. But in any case, go to YouTube, look up Peliculas with the Bros, subscribe to us, leave a comment. We talk back. So if you leave a comment, we'll talk to you directly in YouTube. We always try to do that. We also shout you out on the podcast, so that's a plus. But if you want to listen to us more so than watching us, you can go to any podcast platform. Look up Peliculas with the Bros, and we should be there. So if you're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Deezer, anything like that, we should be there. So look us up. But first, thank you for that. Ivan, let's put on our khaki safari park outfits. Grab an AK-47 for protection, and get ready to dig into 3 feet tall dung heaps as we discuss the movie of this week. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, directed by none other than... Give it to them, Ivan.
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg?
Like P.
I don't get it.
I'm just putting P on his name.
That's P.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Shout out to our incarcerated brethrens at YSL. Steven Spielberg directed this beautiful movie, Jurassic Park. And like I said, we're doing Jurassic Park because next week we're going to talk about Jurassic World Dominion, the 7th or so sequel in this Jurassic IP behemoth, whatever this shit is. But before we get into that movie, we'll talk about Jurassic Park. Ivan, this movie's directed by the Steven P. Spielberg. It's written by Michael Crichton and David Cope. The premise of this movie, don't laugh at that. On a remote island in South America, a billionaire has created an amazing yet terrifying amusement park filled with real-life dinosaurs. Do your dinosaur. Nice. All he needs to get this theme park going is to settle some $1 million lawsuits, get approved by crack paleontologists and a paleobotanist, and get buy-in from some investors. All seems to be going well, but nature does not like to be controlled. And if we know one thing about nature, Ivan, it's that it's unpredictable. If not, chaotic. Chaos theory! Doesn't chaos theory sound so cool?
No.
I am a scientist. In what? I specialize
Chaos.
in chaos.
Whoa.
You just imagine like whoever says that, just like some energy beam comes out of them. Wow. Amazing. With a cast of Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant, Laura Dern as Dr. Ellie Sattler, Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm, Richard Attenborough as Dr. John Hammond, Bob Peck as Robert Malden, Joseph Mazzello as Tim Murphy, Ariana Richards as Lex Murphy, Samuel L. Jackson as Ray Arnold, and Wayne Knight as the conniving Dennis Nedry. Ivan. Steven Spielberg. Let's dissect this filthy animal like only you and I can. Up to this point, he's made the following movies: Duel, The Sugarland Express, Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1941, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., The Extraterrestrial, Twilight Zone, The Movie, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, The Color Purple, Empire of the Sun, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, always Hook. Are you impressed?
Yeah.
By that or by the movies he made?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to pull out 4 movies right here. Big hitters, Jaws, E.T., Indiana Jones, Hook. That's all within the first 17 years of his career. And then, in this year of, I think it's 1993 or 1992, he releases Jurassic Park and Schindler's List.
Come on. Come on,
Let me put this
Stevie.
into context a little bit too. Jurassic Park, highest grossing movie of all time to that point. Schindler's List, Academy Award winning movie in the same year by the same director. This is equivalent to many things, but like it's like I have here a comparison. It's like when the Chicago Bulls, they had the most wins by any team in a single season, and they won the championship that year too. It's like not only did we win the championship, we broke records. We won the most games that's ever been won. And as a director, this is essentially like you just reached your peak already. You made the biggest movie of all time, and you won the award that matters the most. Jesus Christ, man.
Not bad.
Have we seen this since?
Not yet. Not yet.
If you were to, I know I'm quizzing you right now, essentially, but if you were to give me a director that could do this realistically, like most realistically, who could do that today?
Probably like a Safdie brothers.
No way.
Yeah, way.
No way.
Yeah, way.
They can't make a big movie.
I think if they wanted to, they would, or they could. They seem like they know very well what they're doing, and they don't, and they want to do like the fun, or not fun, the
Right here. Put it down. Jesus Christ, man. It's a mic, not a velociraptor.
They are very talented already, and I think if they wanted to pivot into something just fun, they could do that too.
I guess my argument against that is that
They haven't done it yet.
they haven't done anything on either side yet. Like critically,
Okay.
they haven't won. Well, yeah, I'm saying like they haven't clearly won the best movie of the year,
Oh,
or they haven't clearly made the biggest movie of the year. I think
yes. I just think they have the most potential. Well, who?
Christopher Nolan.
He's old.
Technically, he's like in that age where it's like, all right, it's time. It's your 17-year mark.
This is his golden age.
Yeah. As a director, your golden age is like 70s, 60s.
I don't know. I don't see him ever going back to blockbusters. His next one's a nuclear movie. It's about nukes.
I mean, sure, but this last movie was a blockbuster. It just didn't make a lot because it was
Boring.
pandemic era.
Oh,
Boring. It was confusing.
but not like Inception confusing. It was just like, all right, what's
Well, look at this. After he made E.T., he made Twilight Zone. He made Indiana Jones, another big movie. But then he made The Color Purple, Empire of the Sun. 2 big movies, but they were just like dramas, you know? Then he goes back to Indiana Jones, and then he makes Always, which is like a romantic fantasy. And then he makes Hook. So it's not like all complete hits for him. And if you relate that to Nolan can have some off movies, but all I'm asking is like, most likely, can you give me a hit and maybe not in the same year? That's pretty hard.
That's what
Even to time it, you know, it's like to time it
January and then like December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Nolan can do it realistically. I think he has a better chance than the Safdies.
I don't think he has the capability anymore.
But that's where I disagree, because Spielberg did this 17 years into his career.
Different time, buddy.
Is it?
Different time, different people.
Okay.
I think he was just like the Kanye of his era.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Sure, yeah. Definitely not the same kind of director style. I'll give you another one. Maybe you think one as well. And I'm gonna go newer.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go with. Damn it, Marvel's on my mind. I'm looking at all the Marvel directors. I don't think Taika could do it. I don't think Coogler could do it. I don't think Gunn can do it. Critically acclaimed directors.
Like who could make a modern Schindler's List?
Adam Sandler. Sorry. Modern Schindler's List.
I'd say Safdie.
Safdie's. It's a good take, but they can't give me a modern Jurassic Park.
Why not?
They're not special effects guys.
Why
They're
not?
not.
They can learn.
They're more genre. They're closer to Scorsese than they are to Spielberg. Who's like a Spielberg director that's new now?
I don't know. Tom Cruise.
Director, damn it.
I don't know.
JJ was supposed to be that guy, but he wasn't.
He's into producing more.
Anyways, so you go with Safdie, I'll go with Nolan.
Sure.
We'll see what the fans think. So yeah, they do that, right? Another crazy thing. Think about this. That movie Jurassic Park became the biggest movie of the year or of all time, right? He beat out his own movie for biggest movie of all time, E.T. This guy just like he's tuned into a frequency that's never been tuned before.
Yeah. Yeah, like all the stars are aligned for him, like talent-wise,
Yeah.
skill-wise, what he has to say. But does he have it anymore?
We'll get it. Oh, well, that's my next subject after this one. So he makes these two movies, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List. He takes a hiatus, a sabbatical, whatever. He creates DreamWorks with two other big honchos, one from Disney, one from Interscope, Geffen Records or whatever. DreamWorks, at that time, creating a brand new studio was not done because it would require too much money.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it, and he gets a shitload of money from a bunch of people saying like, all right, all Spielberg movies are going to be under this DreamWorks umbrella. Let's do it. Because at that time, yeah, it was risky back then, and it takes a lot of money. But you're saying that the biggest movie director of all time is going to put all his movies behind the studio? Yeah. Sounds like a good investment to me if I'm Bill Gates or something, right?
Right.
Well, that's like a crazy part. And then, wait, what was the other thing? The fact that it cost so much money was interesting. And now, like, fast forward 40 years or 30 years later, to create a studio obviously still costs a lot of money, but people don't want to do that now. They more so rent, like bigger studios rent out their space to other people. And now with CGI, a lot of people don't need studios because they can just recreate it with CGI.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Question for you is, now that studios are sort of dwindling and they're actually just like a couple studios throughout the world owned by the biggest corporations, Viacom, Disney, whatever. What do studios become 20 years from now? Is there still a thing called studios, or can they make a resurgence, or will it
like the physical studio?
The physical studios, yeah.
I think there'll always be a need just for a space
to make a movie,
yeah,
or a show. And it's also interesting because, like, as technology evolves, things that are um, have always been like the standard, like studios for movies, labels for music,
Mm-hmm.
they're becoming less and less useful,
Right.
right? But there's always going to be a need for them in the cases where like you have huge production
Right.
needs, whether that's a Drake or whether that's a Jurassic Park, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the increase being able to record with any kind of device
Mm-hmm.
just negates the need for a lot of studios.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, I could see them just not dying off, but not having their power as much anymore in 20 years. Just like they're really like a bad middleman. Like, let's say if Drake is brand new but has like his power and he needs to release his music, he needs to make music, release music, and tour it, right?
Yeah.
And then merch. Make it, that's just computer, right?
Yes. And facilities.
Yeah. So find a studio like owned by itself instead of like owned by Paramount or whatever, or Interscope. And then merch, like I'm just thinking of how to cut out the industry, and it would just be like 4 middlemen instead of one horrible 80% cut middleman.
Yeah.
Because really all they're doing is renting out the space and letting them use it with their own talent. Like they're not really doing anything, right?
I think the need for a studio as far as music is a label as far as music as an artist goes. You need a label because you need backing. You need money to do the touring. So they'll give you like $100 million to do your tour.
Mm-hmm.
You'll pay back that money with the money you make from the tour,
I wouldn't want that.
and you'll get whatever's left over.
I would rather do like, okay, we're going to fund your entire tour. Just give us 20%.
Who gives us like the label says, I want 20%
Yeah.
from Drake.
Yeah. Of whatever amount of tours you do.
Yeah, I think that's how it works, right? But they have to give them the money to start the tour.
Well, maybe like, what money do they need?
To start the tour?
Yeah.
The buses.
Well, they
the
take care of
equipment.
that.
What?
They take care of all
Who's
that.
they?
The other middleman, the studio.
The studio can't take care of like a huge truck with all the equipment in there.
Why not?
And why would you want them to take care of it? Why don't you might as well take care of it?
I don't want to.
So you want a middleman that's not the studio
Uh-huh.
because they are cheaper.
Yes.
And you can do that, but the studio has all the connections to get you the U-Haul that carries the equipment perfectly and all that.
Because what do I need? What does Drake need that? What's the difference between the needs of Drake and like Lady Gaga in terms of music?
Nothing.
They just need a place to sing. I guess maybe Lady Gaga needs instruments,
Yeah.
but that's like, let me tick the
Well,
let me
Drake does too. His
Let me
producers.
tick the box for like include instruments in my package. You
But
know?
that's the least of the concerns.
What's the most of it?
Like I said, the touring and the packaging of things that you want to sell.
Well,
Like,
then
to make money, you need to spend money, essentially.
have a merch company,
Yeah, you still need to spend money to make your own merch company.
but the merch company says, "Look, we'll fund all of this. Just give us 20%."
But that's basically a label.
But I don't want it all under one label. I want it split apart.
But then it's going to be more expensive
For who?
and more to coordinate.
Not if I have a guy.
And you have to pay the guy.
Well, that's what the guy's paid for. Like, oh, you're my You're my half manager because I'm my own manager.
So you're making things more complicated. That way you don't have to solely rely on one place for backing.
It's not more complicated if I hired just one guy to do all that.
It is for him.
It's his job.
True. I just think you're what you're saying is like you're essentially saying I want to create my own infrastructure, so I don't have to go with that infrastructure, which is fine because then you don't have to pay the X infrastructure, Universal, whatever, that much money. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, you need to spend all that money still to do that. You need to build that up yourself, which is an expense.
Yeah, I'd rather lose money that way than lose money giving it to
That's fine. And that's definitely
take.
not a take. I mean, it is a take, but it's
An opine.
it's like, yeah, that's probably the best thing to do if you have time and you have money. But for studios, the same thing goes. Like, as a director, I need $100 million from Universal because I don't have $100 million, right?
Well, how about they fund everything, and then I make the movie, but they say like your limit, like we're gonna have an accountant on set. Your limit's $100 million. Past that, out of pocket for you. And then at the end of the whatever, when the movie comes out, like then they get their $100 million. No, they never get the $100 million. They just get 20% of whatever.
Can you use instead of they use like nouns?
No.
Because I'm getting confused as in your example.
I'll use Universal and then Steven Spielberg.
Okay, go. I love it. Go.
Steven Spielberg is making a movie and he asks Universal for their studio and their power. Instead of just saying, Universal saying, here's $100 million. They say, your limit is $100 million. We don't want any of that money back. At the end of the day, at the end of the release window, we want 20% of the box office.
Okay.
That's it.
So they're betting that the 20% is going to be worth more than $100 million?
At least $100 million.
Right. No, they're betting that it's going to be more than that.
Well, yeah, but if it's $100 million, then they don't technically lose anything,
right?
Besides time.
So that's what you would want a label to say, or that's what you want Steven to say to?
That's what I want a label to be. Just like, I want them to be the little man in this situation. Like, they shouldn't have the power to literally.
But they should.
Why?
Because they have the money.
That doesn't mean they should have the power.
It's like me going to. Obviously, Steven is a different story. The biggest director of all time. He should be able to say, "Listen, you're lucky that I'm picking you. My movie's gonna go off. I'll give you 20%. I don't need to pay you $100 million." But even in that case, he would rather pay the $100 million than give them 20%.
But if it's like a no-name director, and like a studio head sees his potential, Universal sees his potential, but they don't want to give $100 million. They're gonna be like, okay, here's $100,000 to do whatever you want.
Okay.
This is your trial.
Okay.
And then they make the movie, release it. If that does well, then they have like a relationship.
Sure.
What do you mean?
I'm just like I'm not sure what you're arguing.
For the studios to not have as much power as they do. Power as in like any artist whoever wants to make a movie with them or album or whatever, they have to listen to them no matter what.
Gotcha.
Because they can shut everything down.
Gotcha.
Where I want the artist to have that power.
But I think that's when it comes to like, then you don't, as an artist, I shouldn't need $100 million. I shouldn't need $100,000
to make your art.
Yeah. Or even if I need $100,000, I can't go through the studio because I need to retain creative control.
I just think they should always have creative control.
No way.
Yeah, way.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Because then you get for every Steven Spielberg, you get 100 Dolph Lundgrens. Sorry.
Well, that's what the $100,000 limit is for when they're starting off. And then they see, oh, you actually do suck. And then they never get it again.
But that $100,000, they can barely make a movie with that.
They can make a very small, smart movie.
So you want everyone to be on like a small, smart. I don't know why that sounds so weird to me. Small and smart movie as their very first movie.
Yeah.
As a trial.
Yeah. Same with album. Like, does Drake need $1 million to create an album? Like, you need what? Living space for 6 months? That's like $20,000.
Not anymore, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. It's a weird kind of slanted argument. I like it. As a whole. As it
I come from a place of love.
You come from the eye of the creative.
Yeah.
And backing the creative. But I think, like anything, it's kind of wishful thinking. Like, why would a studio wants to make as much money as possible?
Yeah.
They don't want to spend $100,000 on 50 directors to make a small, smart movie. Because that ultimately, even if they can show that they can make a small, smart movie, doesn't mean they can make the next Marvel IP. And that's what the studio wants. They want that big, humongous, fatty that is like, oh yeah, all right, we're gonna make a lot of money with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not Noah Baumbach, who can make great movies, but no one goes to see him.
Right.
That being said, post Jurassic Park, Spielberg. After making DreamWorks, he takes a break. He comes back in 1997. What do you think is his first movie coming back?
AI.
The Lost World Jurassic Park. His first movie is his first sequel
Flop.
ever.
Oh.
Not a flop. Makes a good amount of money, but critically panned.
He lost it.
Goes on to make Amistad, Saving Private Ryan, AI, Artificial Intelligence, Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, War of the Worlds, Munich, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, The Adventure of Tintin, Warhorse, Lincoln, Bridge of Spies, The BFG, The Post, Ready Player One, West Side Story, The Fablemans that it's due to come out this year. Out of those, I picked out Minority Report, Indiana Jones, AI, Artificial Intelligence, West Side Story, and Ready Player One as his fatties. That's like an interesting route to take after becoming the biggest director of all time.
Okay.
Like, technically, out of all these movies, you would expect, I mean, the ones that he made, there's some good successes here, obviously. Like I said, Minority Report, Indiana Jones, AI, West Side Story, Ready Player One. But none of them at the scale of Jaws, E.T., and Jurassic Park, obviously.
Yeah.
And also none of them critically not really as close to
Before.
Schindler's List, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see him, even though him at his worst is still better than most.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see this kind of trajectory after his peak, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into this movie, Jurassic Park. Here on Peliculas With The Bros, we like to look at how the sausage was made. Ivan, get that meat grinder. Put in the sausage. Get the what's the thing? The casing.
Why would I put the sausage in to grind?
No, get the meat. Okay. Get the grinder. Turn on the grinder. Put the casing on. Put the pork in the grinder.
Oink, oink, oink.
Oh, poor piggy. So yeah, we're gonna look at how the sausage was
A little
made.
gruesome there.
Jurassic Park. It was a book before it was a movie.
Yes.
The book was written by Michael Crichton, whatever. Bidding rights for the movie start going.
$5.
$5. Anyone? $5.
Too high? $4.
It's a huge bidding war.
Okay.
Tim Burton bids quick take. What does a Jurassic Park Tim Burton movie look
All
like?
claymation.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All claymation.
With Johnny Depp as what's his face with the chaostatician.
Dr. Ian
Something.
Blackman.
Yes.
Malcolm. Dr. Ian Malcolm. Yeah. And Winona Ryder as Laura
Yeah.
Dern's character, right? Obviously.
And the two kids is the two kids from Beetlejuice or something.
So yeah, Tim Burton puts something in. Richard Donner.
Superman?
From Superman, Goonies, movie that you don't like, and Lethal Weapon. He puts a bit in.
Okay.
Even our boy that made Avatar, James Cameron, says like, I would have bid, but I didn't know that the bidding was going on.
Whatever. Stupid. Shut up.
Right?
Idiot.
Spielberg wins.
Yeah.
Creaton's like, I want you to make the movie.
He won. What choice did he have? Stupid.
Ivan.
What?
Initial idea was to use animatronics and go motion. Do you know what go motion is? It's like stop motion, but they use motion blur between the frames to simulate movement.
Okay.
So initial idea was animatronics, go motion to create the effects. Industrial Light and Magic, aka Lucas,
ILM.
aka Lucas comes in and they're like, we can use CGI. We can make this movie better.
Just him walking in. Yeah, we could use CGI.
They look at the animatronics. We can make it way better than this.
He said that.
Spielberg's like, all right, prove it. They make a little rendering. Like, all right,
Ugly as hell, but they still used it.
we're gonna go this way. What? You stupid little kid. So they go that route for the visual effects. Harrison Ford, Ivan, was offered the role of Alan Grant, the paleontologist, but it was given to Sam Neill instead. Too similar to Indiana Jones. Harrison's like, so you basically want me to play Indiana Jones again?
Yep.
Good move forward for Alan Grant. I mean, this is his biggest role ever, obviously. Jim Carrey was in contention for Dr. Ian Malcolm, the chaos theory guy.
He has this, like Ace Ventura hair.
He does. What does this movie look like with our boy Jim Carrey?
Goofy. I mean, the character was already a bit of a goofball.
He's not a goofball.
He's a bit.
He's like the sexiest man alive in this movie.
But he's a little goofy with it.
He has like
He's silly.
he's quirky.
Yeah.
He's not goofy.
I mean,
No, not the same thing.
splitting hairs here.
Because like Goofy is like, oh, hi guys. He doesn't do that, and that's what Jim Carrey do. Our boy Goldblum is like, a lot of.
Yeah, that's him.
Robin Wright, Gwyneth Paltrow, Helen Hunt were up for Laura Dern's part.
Never heard of any of them.
Ivan's a real movie critic over here.
Yep.
Sean Connery was gonna be John Hammond.
The fat white doctor.
Yes. I could see him working for this.
Yep.
Imagine a movie with all of these. Like, imagine a movie where we have Indiana Jones. We have
The Grinch.
Ace Ventura.
Oh.
We have the girl from
House of Cards. Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump is better, yeah. I was thinking the Bride, was it? Bride of that great movie where
Are they dead?
Are they dead?
No.
With Andre the Giant. They're killing us right now on YouTube.
Oh, something Bride. Princess Bride.
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Imagine a movie with them, Sean Connery, like just an all-star cast, but instead they went like very
Good.
character actors,
Yeah.
and they still made the biggest movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's arguable too that like if you change for like big movie stars, these characters, the movie probably doesn't work as well.
Yeah. I think the strength of the movie is the dinosaurs, and then like what they did to make them come alive,
Right. Yes.
which wasn't ever done before.
correct.
But seeing it today,
Ivan with the hot takes. Oh my god. I
It
haven't even asked you about it. Lastly, there's an end scene with a T-Rex saving the group of humans. This wasn't originally in the script. Spielberg's like, you know what? I feel like the audience is gonna feel slighted by not showing them T-Rex again.
Mhm.
Bring them in, and they improvised it.
So that was a improvised dinosaur.
Yeah, improvised dinosaur, improvised CGI. You know what I mean?
I thought they got a real dinosaur.
Ivan.
Yeah.
Growing up, this movie Jurassic Park, where is it in your cultural lexicon?
In the trash can.
Why?
Never watched it.
You never watched it? You never watched Jurassic Park?
Oh, I have now.
Ivan, what? How can you have never watched? This is like, we were talking about this recently. That like, what's the movie that if
Yeah.
I've never watched, you would think I'm crazy?
Yeah.
This is that movie, the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah.
And why haven't you watched it?
Never interested me.
Did you watch other Jurassic Park movies?
Jurassic World 1. Probably better
I
than
feel
this
like
one.
I'm talking to a 15-year-old teenager right now. But I'm not, and it's infuriating me. If I was talking to my niece, I'd be like, oh, man, you're in for a treat. But no, you're a full-grown man, and this is the first time you watched Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, for me, thanks for asking. I think we had it on VHS, which makes it even crazier because we're brothers, and I had it on VHS. So that means you never watched the VHS that we
You know
had.
what?
What?
I never liked horror movies as a kid.
Okay. You just gave the hottest take off,
Weren't you scared of Michael Jackson? That's not a horror thing.
but I never proclaimed it to be a horror music video. You just proclaimed.
Okay, then it's not a horror movie.
You saved yourself right there.
A little bit.
I have a thing I want to share with you.
Yeah.
That I literally just remembered when I said VHS. Our mom, she worked at a hotel, right? She was a manager. And at the front desk, right in the front desk of the hotel, they would have the front desk like right in front. And then to the right of the front desk, they would have probably like a shelf, three or four stacks high of movies, VHS movies that you can like, I want to rent this movie for my room, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many fond memories I have looking at that VHS rack and like, taking this one home, Mom. Can I get? She's like, yeah, I get it.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Take it. Watch a movie. Good old times, Ivan. Good old times.
Never had that memory.
What do you have memories with like DVDs?
With Blu-ray 4Ks, that's my memories. No, I was never a movie collector. Like they were just there, but I never cared. I remember I used to have a SpongeBob like season 3, episode 1 through 8.
Yep.
Like VHS. That's like the only memory I have of something
Tangible.
physical video.
Yeah.
But other than that, maybe like a Pokemon movie.
Definitely had that. I remember going to after school in high school, we would go to Blockbuster, which was in our area, and they would have sales $5 movies, and we would like pick up like, oh, they have old school. Oh, they have Napoleon Dynamite. That's a goodie. That's a nice little ditty.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I watched this movie a lot growing up. Like a lot.
Not me.
And I definitely remember all the parts of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember some lines, but I've never understood like some of the finer plot details, like what the what's his name? The chubby guy, Dennis.
Mhm.
Like, what was he selling exactly to the mysterious guy in Costa Rica?
Mhm.
I never understood why there was randomly kids there. Like, I just
Mhm.
went with it. But after watching this, like, I picked up on like the actual plot details.
Right.
So, given that you never watched this is an interesting way of doing this. After watching this, what did you think? Really?
You say that like it's a serious take.
It is, because
Really?
like
Wow.
this is like the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like critically acclaimed movie, but it's a beloved movie.
I can respect what it's done to cinema with its, what's the word? Advancements or like leaps and whatnot. But as a modern movie, it's just not that good to me
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen it done. I mean, they were probably the first to do it, but I've seen it done today in better ways.
Interesting.
So it's like bias, but I'm aware of the bias. But like, what can I do if, like if I watch a 1920 silent film, like the best one ever is probably not going to be as good as like Uncut Gems or something, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
they never had they didn't have the like the structure of like, oh, it would be so good if you put this plot point there. They're just like, let's just film this. They don't have like the cinematography or
Who?
like 1920s silent film, whatever's like it wasn't invented back then.
Gotcha.
Probably good, but just compared to like Toy Story 2, it's gonna just kill everyone from the 1920s.
So, as far as your opinion that this movie, that you can respect what it did, but it's to you watching it now feels antiquated. What exactly feels old? What feels like, all right, well, seen this before.
I mean, technically bad CGI by today's standards.
Uh-huh.
Like the first dinosaur shot, I was like, come on, the lighting's off.
Okay.
Lighting's off on that dinosaur beast. Come on,
Okay.
rookies. But they never had the technology to tell you like simulated lighting. They just did all lighting by hand,
Okay.
which is insane. Like some of the beats were a little like of the story were obvious or no, like tropey.
Yeah.
But they probably started the trope themselves.
Yeah.
And I've probably seen a lot of this movie through Family Guy, honestly, because I'm still watching Family Guy.
Okay.
But there's, like after I watched this one, like the day after, there was like a super hard reference to Jurassic Park, and it was like Peter, he goes to an executive bathroom at his work, and it's a helicopter that takes him to like a waterfall, and it's just like the Jurassic Park intro. And he's just pooping with that Jurassic Park waterfall. So that's like, it was weird, the coincidence with that.
Yeah.
But the plot, like like weird little obvious character moments that were like by the book, like this gives this person a character, and it's like the son playing with like a banana. And that's just like, oh, give him a little character.
So I'm playing with a banana?
He didn't do that, but
Oh.
an example of like random characterization that felt like it was there just to characterize.
Uh-huh.
Not that that's bad, but I think today they do it a lot more subtle. Not so like character moment. Now he has character, you know?
Yeah. I could see that. Definitely this movie is simplistic,
Yes.
and the characters don't have depth, and
They're
the
stupid.
CGI isn't obviously anything close to what we have in 2022. But I think this is a case of you going into a movie with the classic switch not turned on like you usually have it on. Like, I need to go into this movie knowing A, B, and C, and getting ready for this kind of movie. Because to compare it, obviously, to compare CGI is like you can't compare, and you can't even kind of like say, all right, I'm out.
Wait, what?
It can't throw you off too much.
Yes.
I mean, it can, but if it does, then you're not in the right mindset.
But there's parts of the movie where I was like, oh, this is believable, and it's like nighttime T-Rex stuff or the raptors at the end.
Because that's easier to do.
Like the bad shots were like the daytime stuff.
Yes.
Where it's like you just can't.
Right.
What was your other?
Just being, you have to go in. It's the thing we always say, going into a movie in a mind state saying, I'm ready for this movie.
But
because to look at it as like a movie that's going to be anything but something that can be the biggest movie of all time. Like, you need stereotypical characters. You need this kind of these beats in a story for this kind of movie.
I mean, I don't think I could have watched it any other way, to be honest. And it just, like, it's too old for me. It's too old, Adrian. Like,
it's 30 years old. It's going to be 30 years old next year, I think.
I was thinking about this versus Planet of the Apes, where it's like similar original movie, sequel, and then people hate it or something. And then now it's good.
Arguably.
With Planet of the Apes. That's arguable?
Oh, Planet of the Apes, sorry. I was thinking Jurassic. IP.
Yes. I was just comparing like their trajectory is the same.
Yep.
But what people think of them is not.
Right.
And I think it's because, I mean, the first Planet of the Apes was pretty like airtight in terms of like you can't really find an issue with what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Jurassic Park, it felt like they were comically evil at times. They meaning
Who?
like the fat boy.
Uh-huh.
He was comically evil, and then the billionaire doctor was a little comically stupid, thinking he could trust this weird fat guy with 2 million of lines of code automating. Like, can't you see he's an issue? Like, just human to human. Look at him. Look at him.
He's kind of chubby.
Yeah. Like
his workstation was the messiest station of all time.
Running a theme park, brand new with 3 people. It's like, aren't you a billionaire? Aren't you smart?
All right, Ivan, you're digging too deep for me.
I only dig deep. That's my issue.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Because we saw Top Gun Maverick the other day, and you love that thing.
That's different.
You eat your words right now.
That's different.
You back up a movie that's
different.
Oh man.
But
my bud's boiling.
Top Gun 2 was like intense.
Top Gun 2 now he calls it.
It's too long to say Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun 2.
TBM. TPM.
TPM was TGM.
TGM, people.
TGM was very aware of what they're doing is like that corniness. Whereas Jurassic Park was inventing that very first corniness where it wasn't corny at the time.
Okay.
I don't like comparing things because there's always like...
No, I like what you're saying. I like that take. That even though for its time it was okay.
Yeah.
20 years later, that corniness is too strong of a smell to just ignore.
Yes.
And that goes into a question I'll ask in a bit that will...
unravel my psyche.
I think it will unravel all of our psyches. We might all die after listening to this hot take. I think this movie is great.
Yeah.
And that's probably because I grew up with it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I watched it hundreds of times. Probably 35 times, most likely.
Jeez. Okay.
I think the reason it's so good is because it is so simple.
Yeah, it's pretty classic.
Yes. I think it's iconic in its look.
Yeah.
Like everything is feels of a thing. Like this
it exists
feels
in
like
that world.
what?
It exists in that world.
It creates a world.
Yeah.
And it's a memorable world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's iconic looking. And then obviously there's iconic scenes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The look and sound of this, I think even as I watched it, yeah, there's a couple scenes that look cringy because of the CGI, but the sound and the look of the T-Rex just like chasing them and like smelling them and looking for them.
I think it was pretty genius, that the water shaking thing. Like I'm
Exactly.
sure that was never done before.
Nope.
So that's like perfect storytelling.
Yes. And all of that kind of stuff, like iconic, but it's iconic because it was shot in a certain way, because of the sound,
Yep.
the footsteps, the sound of T-Rex roaring. Shout out to ILM who was spearheading the sound of this, and George Lucas was the supervisor of the sound department during this. So George Lucas doesn't mess around with sound. Star Wars has like the greatest sound in films of all time. That's why I think so memorable. But just all of that, for me, that's why the movie still works. Even though, yes, you're right, it could be nailed on the head type of stuff with the characters and their archetypes.
It's like a good museum movie. Like you would see this in the Hall of Fame of like movies.
Yep.
But I wouldn't blame anyone for watching this and being like, I've seen better. Because like,
I think if it's like,
I mean, I saw Jurassic World. Come on.
But that's my main, like, that's
let's be
one of my
real.
things with this movie, that like, it's so simple,
Mm-hmm.
and they show, literally, I think I read that it's like 10 minutes of dinosaurs that they actually show in this movie.
Right.
Where in Jurassic World, you have a freaking velociraptor having empathy for a human and started like talking to it in a weird language. Like, come on. What? Do I need that? I'd rather watch 10 minutes of... I'd rather watch the water shaking, being afraid of what could happen, than
Right.
watching this part of this velociraptor chasing me.
Yes, but I also hot take, but not really. Like this movie should have been the only movie in the series, if like they're going by logic.
Yeah.
Because this failed. Why would we ever do this again?
Yeah.
And there's like 6 more Jurassic Parks.
I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't fail.
but it does.
Keeps making money.
No, I mean in the universe it fails. Making a Jurassic Park.
Oh.
I'm like logically from like a story.
Well, I don't know about that. Like, I think there's like, you can write yourself into any kind of story, just like, oh, it escaped and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but they wouldn't make another park. I mean, I haven't seen other movies.
Oh, Jurassic. You're saying Jurassic World was a park they created, right?
Yeah, like shouldn't you see this movie and be like, probably shouldn't do this because people died, and we really have no business making dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean, you're thinking too logically for films.
I think every film should have a little logic to them.
A little.
I think, yeah. I think it does. Like even Toy Story has logic to it. Like toys can't talk, but there's logic. Like I have to put that on.
Strike. Next example.
But they build a world with like, there's a logic to the world, and then like the toys.
When you need to make money, Ivan. This is even in like both cases.
Money.
Like this is actually works great because like the actual real life studio needs to make money.
Yes.
So let's make another park movie.
Right.
And then in the actual world of Jurassic Park /world, if a businessman can make billions of dollars, they're going to try to do that.
Yes. then they should have been.
Especially if he's Russian.
They should be assassinated
Hot take.
in movie. Like how cool would it be if this movie Jurassic Park 1 released, and then Jurassic Park 2, there's a rogue agency trying to release dinosaurs into the wild because they are the apex predators, and it's like that's their thing.
So it's like a worshipping.
In a way,
Like they
but
worship.
It just changes genre. It's not even Jurassic Park anymore.
Okay.
And then they do that, and then it's just like Planet of the Apes now.
All right. Sure. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Well, I mean, how good was Lost World? How good was Lost World 2? How good was Jurassic World?
Well, none of the
1?
movies are technically good after this one,
Well, maybe this movie was never good.
but it wasn't bad. Also, I think a thing that Spielberg wanted to do was like, I want to make a better Jaws,
Okay.
and that's this movie. I want to make a better King Kong, right? So he's continuing on this like tradition of like monsters, just in a new take, which is kind of cool too. Like
Right.
that idea. Let's talk about some of the characters. Goldblum. I want to talk about this man right here. Jeff Goldblum.
Underutilized.
He's running hot in this movie.
Kind of random.
What? How's so?
I don't know. Like, there's, I mean, the obvious scene is when he's like laid back with his
Chest
shirt
hairs.
open. Like, just direct shot to that. It's like, the heck does that have to do with anything?
I have a take on this.
Okay.
So, I think this is like
Right.
Spielberg realizing that he has a sex monster on his hands. So he has Jeff Goldblum. The first scene that he has him like as an intellectual guy, right? He's like, oh, I'm a chaos theory guy. This, that. Like, I deal with unpredictability, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, this guy's kind of sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Spielberg saying, and then it's like, all right, flirt with Laura Dern, and he's like, let me show you, and he grabs her hand and he places the water drop. Oh, what way you think it's gonna go? It goes down that way. But what do you think the other drop's gonna do? Well, it goes the other way,
Mhm.
and that's because of the chaos theory. Yeah, and then he's like, this guy's a sex monster. I need to do something. Take your shirt off, and it doesn't make any sense at all. It has nothing to do with the story.
Right.
But then we have a glistening, half-naked Goldblum
Mhm.
laying down with his shirt off. And he just creates an iconic
Image.
frame.
Yes. I think you're mostly correct, but it was a lot more subconscious for Steven. Like, I think,
So you're saying he's gay?
no.
We found it out. Spielberg's gay, and that's not bad.
What?
we accept all
not the point.
races and creeds,
And sexualities.
sexualities. We ourselves are. What are we?
Everything.
We're everything,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
All at once.
What he said. So Spielberg, more power to you. Go ahead, continue.
I think he was just filming that scene, and then he looked, corner of his eye, he saw the sex monster over there. It's like, I have to film you. And he just pans to that and like, this is the perfect shot. And then just throws that in the movie because it's like, why not?
Imagine being Goldblum and being like, "Wait, what do you want me to do?"
Yourself.
And then Spielberg's like, he's not sweating, like, because they need to put water on him. Throw some water on that sex monster over there. And you're Goldblum and you're just laying and you're like, so you want me to lay down, Spielby? He's like, yeah, lay down. And he's like, you're not wet enough. They wet
And
him.
he spits on him.
Oh.
Rubs it on his chest. The
He's
whole
like-
cast is watching like, what the heck is this?
And then they say action, and he's not supposed to do any because he doesn't have one line. He's just laying down, and he
Mhm.
has to film there. He needs to get filmed. That's an actor for you
Okay.
to just take it, to act as natural or as or just act.
Mm-hmm.
Just be there. Goldblum, sex monster.
Yep.
Oh man. Sam Neill, Laura Dern, reliable all stars. I'd look at them as like on a championship winning team. They're just like the players that just do their job. They're not like
Dwayne Wade.
no, too hot.
Okay.
That's like
Kyrie Irving.
He's too good. This guy, okay, for the Lakers, there would be okay, no. Who won the last championship? Milwaukee Bucks. Okay. So you have Drew Holiday and they're PJ Tucker and
Kyle Kuzma.
wrong. How do you even know his name?
Why not?
PJ Tucker. I just need one more name that's not.
LeVar Ball.
No, Ivan.
Skyhook.
Why Skyhook? Just because you watched Winning Time?
It's the only move I know.
Oh, God. But other than them, they have great bit players throughout this movie. Richard Attenborough as Dr. John Hammond. Bob Peck as Robert Malden. Samuel L. Jackson as Ray Arnold.
Is he new?
At this point?
Yeah.
No. He was in...
Pulp?
What?
Was he in Pulp yet?
Pulp.
Fiction.
Got me.
Come on. Was he in PF yet? I have to be casual with it.
Don't be too casual.
Okay.
Turn me off. I think so, actually. I think so. 93?
Probably.
I just love that he's the most... He breaks all stereotypes as like a computer engineer right here. He's smoking, he's African American, and he has some sass to him. And he's like a software engineer in Costa Rica for this Richard Attenborough guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has classic lines, which now I do want to get into. The quotes in this. Since you're uninitiated to this movie, you're probably not too good with the quotes. But there's the quote from basically the poacher guy. Clever girl. Classic line. Put it on a shirt, which it is on a shirt.
Yeah.
And you could buy it. Hold on to your butts.
Did they say that?
When he's restarting the system, Samuel, he's like, hold on to your butts.
Dang.
We have that as a emoji at work, and we use it when we deploy code.
It's like grasping some yellow emoji's butts.
No. His face. We can make pictures.
I was
emojis.
picturing like an Apple emoji, like hand drawn by someone at your work,
Gotcha.
of like holding on to their butt.
No. Another classic line. This is by Jeff Goldblum's character Ian Malcolm. He's talking to Henry Wu in the movie, who's a scientist. You're implying that a group compromised entirely of female animals will breed. And then Ian Malcolm says, no, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
He said the thing.
Classic line. John Hammond, Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome to Jurassic Park. All of it. 3 minutes and 50
That's
seconds.
all I know.
John Williams scoring this, another thing. Like, what is this movie without that theme song? Case in point. Ivan, obviously this movie is a huge success, right?
Yeah.
Biggest movie of all time. Sequels galore. The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and now we're getting Jurassic World Dominion. I slept while reciting that, but my point is this. This is the first IP that Spielberg made a sequel on.
Okay.
It goes on to make many sequels. You noted earlier how this movie has cliches galore to today's standards.
Right.
is Spielberg the main reason we have the IP driven world we have today? Where Marvel.
I understand the question.
This is for the dum-dums out there.
Okay.
Where Marvel, Star Wars, DC are the only movies studios want to make. Is Spielberg the reason why we're in the shit storm we're in today?
I don't know.
All right, and that's the episode of Peliculas With The Bros. Just kidding.
I don't know. I'd have to see if anyone ever has done it. I couldn't blame him completely. It's like it doesn't take rocket science to make a sequel.
It does not.
I don't know.
It takes a creative genius.
I just don't know.
Spielberg, like he's like what is it? He's that scientist that finds out how to like separate whatever to make the atom bomb.
Okay.
He's like, oh, if you just do this and this. I wish. Well, I don't wish that happened, but like, I wish they do that in a movie. Just like, oh, look at this. It's like, oh god. Well, yeah, he's the director that did that. Okay.
Okay.
He's the one that realized that like, but he realized it in a way that he probably didn't want to, because I don't think he necessarily wanted to make the sequel immediately. I think it was just more like, oh, I guess I can make it.
Right.
And it ends up being successful. But he kind of paved the way for what we have today of IP just ruling the world.
Sure.
And then if you also look at all the movies he's ever made, he can rival Disney with like his own theme park.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, Jaws,
Schindler's List.
He has his hands in a lot of things too, like Back to the Future.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, Back to the Future wouldn't be a thing. Robert Zemeckis, his whole, like he helped him too. All that kind of stuff. Forrest Gump, blah, blah, blah. And then I read that Georgie Porgy himself, the reason he realized it's time to make the prequels was after watching this movie and the CGI. He's like, okay, it's time. Let's do it.
Okay.
All that being said, I don't think Spielberg is at fault for where we are today, but he is the guy that sort of pushed the rock down the hill.
Like one of the dominoes or whatever metaphor.
But he, like, and going back to the cliche aspect of this movie, his films do tend to lean towards that kind of feel of using cliches or what is seen now as cliches. I know we talked about Spielberg before as far as like what kind of director is he, and we've said before too, like he's like a, like, what is it, the boy, like a wondering, like he has the imagination of like a little boy.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know the word.
But what I see when I see his movies is like he's very sentimental. Like and it's sort of hard to explain. Like it's kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's, if you look at his, we talked about his latest films, they haven't been as successful. And it's because this age is more attuned to realistic things, you know?
We're realistic about life. We don't need cheese.
We don't need cheesy.
We don't need your queso.
And to take it another level further, compared to Scorsese, he is like and I'm comparing him because it's kind of a similar vein. Compared to Scorsese, he's way more family friendly.
Yeah.
You know, not overly stylized. His probably closest contemporary is Zemeckis.
Okay.
And then you have George Lucas too, who's another contemporary. But when I look at all these directors, I feel like, and I feel it too when I watch this movie. This movie lacks like some sense of happiness.
This movie?
Yeah. This movie and also Spielberg movies as a whole. Like they have this tone of like, and it's, I don't even know how to explain it, like melancholy.
Okay.
It's a mechas. You have Back to the Future, you have Forrest Gump, you have like these movies that have more life to it.
Heart.
George Lucas, you have his Star Wars movies who that has more hope to it even, and like ambition.
Yeah.
And Scorsese, who has more movies that are fun, even though they're kind of like disturbing or graphic, they have more life to it. But Spielberg is sort of like, I don't know, there's something for me that makes me feel kind of depressed when I watch his movies.
The loss of childhood.
This was Psychology 101, guys. Hosted by your boy, Ivan Afrasio. I was waiting for that, but you didn't do it. Do you see that too?
Nah.
No?
I mean, I just never liked Spielberg movies.
Exactly. But what is it? That's like what I realized.
It's a bit melancholy. If you ask me, look at my face.
He just took it. He just took it from me.
It's just, I think the cheesiness and the simplisticness. I mean, I liked Saving Private Ryan, but even that was a little like simplistic military as far as like what military movies do usually.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's like
Tear off the face.
Yeah, this was like a Disney military movie, if anything. Still sad, still gruesome, but
We just saw West Side Story. You know that, like, now that you know the same person made both of these movies, what is their connection that makes you feel like, can I spit on Spielberg's face right now? Like, what is it about these movies?
I think he just likes.
Is he old-timey?
A little. He's past his time now.
But as far as, like, his style, like, what he likes, what the story he's telling.
He likes kids' perspectives.
And that doesn't sit well with you.
Nah, I don't think that's why it doesn't sit well with me.
I think it's like the cheesiness then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ready
Just-
Player One. Did you like that one?
I mean, it was fun to watch, but to listen to, no.
Listen to?
Listen to their words.
Yeah. There's that. All right.
Maybe like a kid that never existed, like their emotions.
You're creeping me out.
A little ghost child.
Oh God.
Sixth Sense.
Okay. I feel it.
You're pooping?
Yeah. It's coming out and I can't hold
He's
it.
pooping.
Spielberg is trying to recreate his childhood.
The way he wants it. He wanted it to be, but it never was.
No.
Oh.
He's recreating it exactly how it was, which was a sad childhood. Like, he had imagination. He had all these ideas in his head, but at the end of the day, all of that still felt sad. Like, it's still sad to him.
Okay.
That's
like
because
nostalgia.
What?
Nostalgia.
Yeah, it's nostalgia, but without the joy.
Sometimes nostalgia doesn't have joy.
Huh. I just feel like his movies don't have happiness. Like they might portray happiness, but they're not really happy. Like Back to the Future, that was
Happy.
nostalgic and that was happy.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend a day with Michael J. Fox in that movie than any day with any of the characters in any of his movies.
Yeah. Well, maybe, I mean, he is Jewish, right?
Yeah.
I think just no matter what, when your people go through something like the Holocaust, it's just going to bleed into whatever you do.
Maybe.
Never know.
Never know. If Jurassic Park were an album, what album would it be?
Like a Jaden Smith album.
Oof. Shout out to our boy Jaden.
I don't know.
I will say it's like a
Wu-Tang Clan. It has to be something old but good, but I would not listen to today because it's kind of outdated.
It's like a Warren G record. Regulate us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a classic song, but no one under the age of 20 wants to hear that.
Yeah. 25.
Ivan, what are your predictions for Jurassic World Dominion?
Be bad.
Yeah.
They're on just like improper ground as it is. Because I remember thinking Jurassic World 1 was like nothing good, nothing special. At worst, mediocre. At best, mediocre, I mean.
Yeah. And it just ended up making $1 billion.
Yeah, just off the name.
And Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Like, hot off Guardians.
Yeah.
All right. This movie's going to go bonkers.
I don't think it'll be good. And it's because Jurassic Park barely has any. It doesn't have the good bones for sequels.
Possibly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's too late now. Like, maybe there was a good Jurassic World 2 idea 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but then they went with Lost World and then 3 that I haven't seen, even though I'm talking trash about it.
I think it's going to be bad as well. I think you're right that it's hard to make a movie about dinosaurs.
Like, what else? They take over Earth? Okay. If that's the end of the movie, then I already won. I already watched it, you know?
Well, I think that's like the issue with IP, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's like Jurassic World was of a time. I mean, Jurassic Park was of its time.
Uh-huh.
It was perfect for its time.
Right.
Biggest movie of the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you don't remake Jaws, you know?
Jaws 2. There's 2 sharks.
That's why you don't remake E.T. You like make your original story and get the F out.
Yeah. And I'd say only do sequels if there's a strong logical idea that like would hold up in time.
So make Marriage Story 2. Noah Baumbach.
Marriage Story 2. Divorce.
Marriage Story 2. Divorced again.
And it's like Ben Stiller on the cover.
Marriage Story. Why Ben?
He seems annoying.
Oh, so new cast.
Yeah, it's like a soft reboot. Same directors.
Marriage Story 3. We don't need to be married.
Widowed.
Oh. But why is it Marriage Story if
it's the story of a marriage, and eventually a marriage will either divorce or widow.
Marriage Legend. The
prequel? High school stories.
Oh, the high school years.
Oh my god.
Damn. That's an IP for you.
And then 7 would be like the legacy of marriage itself, like 8,000 years ago, the first marriage.
Oh.
It's like shot for shot the same as the Marriage Story, but like with Neanderthal people.
Ivan, rate this movie.
Give it a 4.
Out of what?
Ambers. Ambergris. Amber
Stones.
Amber stones.
Don't you use amber stones to evolve a Pokemon or something?
Shut up.
Okay. I give it a 4.5 out of 5
Jeez.
amber mosquito amber stucks in amber stones.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan, it's time for a section we like to call
Things in Touch.
Depp versus Heard. Final verdict read. Depp wins $10 million. Heard
We
wins.
talked about this.
Heard wins 1.5 million. What's next for both of these legends?
Johnny will.
Wait. Where does Heard go? Let's start with the least.
You know what? You don't want to hear my answer. I'm done.
All right. Heard. She will become. Unfortunately, I feel like
She's gonna look like Monster. Charlize Theron.
so bad.
Am I right though?
No, she's gonna be like the girl who was in The Shining,
Okay.
who Hollywood blackballs because of the traumatic past she went through because of Stanley Kubrick. But this is like on the other side, like she went through something traumatic, maybe by her own doing, and now she's just gonna fall into abyss and maybe look like.
I just hope she has money saved up.
I mean, she could just become like a spokesperson, most likely.
A little do on Fiverr, little
No
videos.
No,
Like Amber, say, I pooped on your bed for me.
no. She's gonna be like the complete woman feminist. She's gonna get paid millions of dollars to speak at rallies and stuff like that.
That's not good.
What is good, Ivan? Johnny
She's
Depp.
not even a good feminist.
Johnny Depp.
He's gonna be fine. He's gonna make his Oscar.
What's his? This is what I want to get to.
Rango 2.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Rango set in the city. He's a city boy now.
City Slinger.
He's like 60s, Mad Men era.
Woo!
He is in Madison Avenue.
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
No, probably not. But Ringo 2, I see happening. One of the greatest animation movies of all time.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll return to Disney, Harry Potter, anything like this?
Probably not. I think he's gonna want to do like indie, smart, whatever movies, like just fun, people he likes, no drama at all.
Okay.
Like, just do it for the art.
Then I got one for you. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Johnny. Hey, it's Tim Burton.
Clink. Who gave him my number?
Timmy's gonna come a calling, and they're gonna make the next big IP.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice 2. Edward Scissorhands 2. Anything 2 related to the IP that I own. We're gonna make it live action Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, sign me up. Are you ready for the Johnnyverse?
Clink, clink. This phone won't come off.
I'm wondering if like Burton has stuck up for Johnny, or Johnny's like, don't talk about me until this is all over.
I don't care about them too.
You
Like, what does Burton do anymore? Look, he was a visionary. He's a creative genius. Was a creative genius. Like, at a point, you got to call it.
I know.
Call the body. Call the time of death.
Well, I'll call it after this one, because I have the perfect segue. They released a teaser for the new Netflix show directed by Tim Burton. Wednesday. Da-da-da-da-dum. 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 Da-da-da-da. The things you make me do, Ivan, to make you laugh. If this show is bad, I agree with you. Tim Burton.
Why is he doing that?
Why not?
What does Wednesday story need?
We'll see. Why are they making Obi-Wan?
He didn't need it.
Ivan, since you don't have a good take, I'll move on to the next thing. There's a bunch of shows coming on Netflix. I want to see if you have any takes on it. One Piece. Okay. The Sandman.
That's it.
You like Sandman?
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman's comic turned.
That was kind of corny, but we'll see. Never know.
Yeah. All right. Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Rated R.
Nice.
Green lit. First Marvel movie rated R. High hopes?
It'll be good. He has a lot of material. Like, just got bought out by Disney.
Oh.
Let me put on these Mickey Mouse ears.
This is a good point. Also, another point is if this movie does well, it's gonna open the gates for
R.
Marvel Disney.
Marvel?
There's no R without. There's no Marvel without an R, capital R. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully that goes good.
I think. Look, I had this theory idea the other day, whatever.
Hey, shoot, man! I'm all ears.
Jesus Christ, you alcoholic.
It's water, man. I'll spit it out. Okay, go.
I should have just let you suffer and not said anything for a minute. What was the... I'm serious.
That's how good it was that I completely made you forget.
Distracted me.
R-rated Disney.
I think like rating systems are kind of useless now, and it's getting more useless. Like they were made. Hold on. Thank you. Like the people who hold the power are like basically Netflix, Hulu, whoever. They don't need a rating system at all. They can just release whatever and say, look, there's some violence. Leave it. They don't like the R rating. That's a different company. And that's from movie theaters and from old television studios. But I don't think these companies have any say over what Hulu can do.
So what do you want?
I'm saying TV has been dying, like the box TV. And they are the ones who made the rules like TV 14 rated R. But now that the internet is actually in power, like... I don't think Disney has to worry at all about rating systems, about ever making a rated R Marvel movie like that. I don't think anyone cares. And it's like, remember I talked about most kids seeing horror movies at 12? Like, that's definitely way more relevant today. Not that they should be watching these, but they're going to watch it no matter what. So I think there's no point in worrying about rated R for anything from any studio.
There's a lot of parents that would disagree with you.
But the fact that parents disagreeing makes the kids want to watch it more, and the kids are going to watch it no matter what.
But now you're talking about psychological.
Isn't that everything?
It is, but it's not. You're not going to change it by being the first movie studio to say, you know what? Ratings from ratings.
I had this idea for a Carl's Jr. commercial. It could be any stupid fast food.
Okay.
But like they play it super straight and say, look, and they're honest. Like, look, we suck. We're not that great. We taste good at times. Maybe not this honest, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We taste good. You're here with your friends. Like, just come here. And then they just curse.
Just come here.
And then they curse very loud at the end. Like a huge like F word or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Just to like wake people up.
Uh-huh.
And like, who's going to get mad at that? Parents? Kids get mad. Or no, parents get mad. Kids want to eat Carl's Jr. now. Right?
Yeah.
Like, kids have the freedom to just go there. And no parents like, I'm boycotting Carl's Jr. now. You know?
Yeah, that is a good thing to do. You just need to pay the network in advance for the amount they're about to be fined.
You don't put it on TV.
Oh.
It's just like an internet ad.
Oh, yeah.
Because on the internet, put it on Twitter.
Okay. So you're saying, yeah, I get that.
You don't even care about TV anymore.
So you're basically doing the opposite of Chick-fil-A. Like, oh yeah, you believe in church? Well, we believe in the devil.
Yeah, and then just say buy devil water, and it's just canned water of like devil juice, but it's literally just water.
Yeah, it's a great marketing strategy. It would be great if McDonald's is just like, yeah, you know that family stuff that we've been preaching about? No, we
want your money.
We want your money. We're the devil. Our food isn't that good for you, but it tastes fine. So
yeah, look, moderation. Come here when you can. If you don't, just go home. Eat an apple.
Yeah.
we're rich already. It's your life. It's a whole commercial. Just a guy talking to him casually.
Who would be the guy?
Ronald McDonald. Played by John Hamm.
Oh yeah.
The king of advertising.
Just smoking, just like
In the full
Right.
clown. Full
Yeah.
clown
Yes,
outfit.
yes.
Smoking.
yes.
He's playing Don Draper seriously.
yes.
It's Don Draper, and he doesn't acknowledge the clown at all. And he's just talking about McDonald's.
Yes.
Smoking. He puts the cigarette out on the burger.
Yeah.
Eats the burger.
Yeah.
Does more.
Takes a swig of whiskey.
Yep.
Yep.
I want this ad.
And then like a girl walks by and he's like, he looks at her and she's like,
Hey, tits. Come over here, tits.
he never does that though.
I
so-
know.
All right. I like that. I'll clip that and put it on YouTube. See if anyone agrees.
Then they'll steal it.
Good. I thought I had a big rant about something. Joker 2, it's coming.
Really?
Yep.
Joaquin?
Yep.
Nice.
Written by, directed by,
Aaron Sorkin.
no, Todd Phillips and
Okay.
some other guy. They're doing it.
I mean, I feel like Joaquin wouldn't do it unless there was a solid script. So that means I feel like they're going to steal my idea of just changing the genre of doing like, I mean, Joker was kind of taxi driver genre, like
Uh-huh.
loner, depressed male,
Yeah.
alone.
Yep.
Boring, sad, ugly.
Poop.
But this could be like a warlord, war movie, you know? Just like go completely off script. Or not off script, off genre.
And like,
Like what would be a Joker 2 if they stayed in the same genre? Like
probably not as good.
I think it would have to be like Joker War, you know?
I was thinking more like, so they use Taxi Driver as its like blueprint for the 1st
Mhm.
one. He used like another classic movie in a different genre
Mm.
as its blueprint.
I think like a War of the Worlds.
Oh,
I just want like a Planet of the Apes but Joker.
but how does that even? What do you mean?
Like when all the monkeys have guns now
Uh huh.
and they're just going against the humans.
Okay.
But now it's all the Jokers have guns because they all copy him. So
All
there's like,
society.
yeah. So it's like 1 million Joker copies.
And
And they're like, let's end society. It's just like an anarchy sort of
Gotcha.
movie, but it's war.
gotcha.
I don't know. At the end, Joker, like, you know what? I'm good. And he just walks into the sunset or something.
What is he gonna say? You damn dirty ape. What? How do you
Oh.
switch that?
You damn dirty cop.
Cop. White cop.
Because, like, cop is like the perfect
Ah.
society. You damn dirty politician.
You damn dirty politician. Okay, I see it. Probably won't happen, but
I just want it to be wild. Like, I just want off genre now. I don't want sequels. I want
ironicness.
not even ironic. Just don't be stuck by the world you created. Like, evolve past it, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like,
Like be innovative.
yeah, like if Joker 2 is just like the trial of Joker, and it's like A Few Good Men or something. I know you'd love that,
There we go.
but I don't want to be in a room with him just talking. I mean, I kind of do.
You
but,
do want that.
But I also want like a Joker war, wild. Everyone's following this crazy leader, you know?
Ooh, that kind of sounds good.
And then like eventually they find out he's just a nerd, ugly loser, womanless.
And then that's when the real Joker is formed.
It's like, oh, it's like Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
his voice. That was Joker.
Was that good?
That was Joker.
I was Joker for Halloween, I think 2 years ago. And I did the laugh and I creeped out my friends. And I was proud of it.
I wouldn't be proud.
Black Adam trailer came out
I saw that.
with our boy, The Rock,
Yep.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yep.
What'd you think?
Looks corny. Man, everything's corny these days, huh?
Yep.
Yep. But I like how they had multiple superheroes and they're just thrown in there.
Yeah.
I don't want explanations anymore. I just want a world of superheroes and then
Alright.
just doing crazy stuff.
I agree with that. I like that part too.
Like I'm over I'm over intros unless it's like throughout the story he says, "Oh, my daughter died." It's like midway.
Flashback.
Yeah. I'll take that at most,
Yeah.
but no more origin anymore at all.
Okay.
Like we don't need it. All the big superheroes have their origin.
Yes.
Everything else is like we don't need to know what Captain Adam.
How he was created. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I like that too, but I do think it's gonna be corny. I don't think it's be that good.
I just hope it's fun.
And like the director is just like I mean, no knocks to him, but he's not like. That's the thing. Like, if the director doesn't look like a reliable auteur to me, and if the writers aren't like well known, I'm just like, well, we're gonna get the same movie we've gotten for every other superhero movie.
I think the golden age of cinema is about to come back. And the last one was Lucas Spielberg era.
Like early 80s.
I just think, like when you said he released Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And that has not been done by any director in the past 20 years, 30 years.
Ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think it's impossible to do it again. So I think there's just a moment where the golden age, where movies are just going to Oscars, Emmys, Tonys, Peliculas.
Grammys Latino. Okay, I see that.
Golden age. It's coming.
Okay.
Spearheaded by the Safdie Bros.
I don't know about that.
They have it.
Ari Aster.
He's like a lesser grunt of the Safdie era of movies.
Wait, you like Ari's movie better than Safdie's though? You just love Uncut Gems.
What's your point?
All right. Time for a section called "What's on the Telly." Watching Family Guy. Do you watch Obi-Wan? At all? No. Yeah, people are complaining. I've already voiced my complaints. I'm done talking about it. Stranger Things. It's good. It's better than Obi-Wan. Caught it
In my pocket.
in his pocket. It's just like dumb fun, and that's what those kind of shows should be, and that's what Obi-Wan should have been.
Oh, not Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
I won't go there.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't watched it. It's like my classic. I haven't watched it, but
It's good. I mean, it's not like obviously like good, but it's good.
I wanted an Obi-Wan where like if all his friends are dead, everything he ever knew was dead. This dude should be like at the gutter. Like he should be suffering mentally. He should be almost a Sith, you know? Like I'm going to create my new order where we can kill people for fun.
Uh-huh.
Like just back to like logic. Like this is like the most traumatizing thing that could ever happen to anyone. And it happens to him and he survives. Like that's a million traumas that you can work with. Do they work with any of the traumas?
That's your answer right there.
That little blub. That's what I'm saying. They're not people anymore. They're characters. That's what's missing.
There's a good take that I heard. That TV is losing its way because what made TV great is its limitations as far as like we need to reduce the cost of the show, have these people talk in a room for 10 minutes instead of perform this action sequence.
Right.
So now they're losing that because they have the ability to make big set pieces.
Yes.
But it's like we don't need that. Why do we? What's your favorite show of all time? Mad Men. What's your second favorite show? Succession. You know, it's like, what do these shows have in common? Characters who talk in rooms.
That's what I'm saying.
And even like some of my favorite movies,
Mm-hmm.
it's movies that combine the set pieces and people talking in rooms and do it amazingly, you know?
Yeah.
So there's that.
I mean, like Top Gun 2, TGM,
TGM, baby.
TGM,
Thank God it's Monday.
like everything served the
God.
action.
Oh.
Everything was in service of God. Everything served the action, meaning the you just all the gods there. Serve the action, meaning that the dialogue was there to get to the action. So that for a TV show wouldn't really work, or it could work, but it's too big now. So they need to dial it down, right?
It's funny, like, now that you say that, I would find TGM so boring if it was a show.
It needs the G-force. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still new technology, so I think once they wise up, not even Disney, I mean in general, when people wise up and
What
say...
are you, 70 years old? Wise up?
Yeah.
Okay.
If the phrase works, I'm going to use it. I don't care what decade it's from. If they wise up and realize that they can't rely on CGI or big sets that can be made anywhere, they're going to be like, oh, we actually have to make this good instead of make it look good only.
What will you do?
For a Klondike bar.
I was about to say it there. What would you do if Disney's like, we're making the Black Label channel, which is basically like AMC.
Uh-huh.
And on there, they have like Obi-Wan, the real Obi-Wan.
Okay.
They have the real blah, blah, blah. They have, that's what they should do.
They're just too scared. They
Ya wussies.
for no reason. They can make whatever. TV isn't boss anymore. They're the boss. Which is scary if they ever figure that out. Because they can literally put whatever curse word, make any story, anything they want. Maybe not so much for Star Wars, but I think they're scared of the kids not watching. But just have the kids watch the movies, and then the adults can watch the TV show. And then when the kids are ready, they watch the TV show, because kids don't really watch TV shows. They watch TikTok and the cartoon Toy Story 5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I can run every company better than anyone ever else has ever.
You heard that, Bob Iger? You can beat it. We're going to wise up some.
Swallowed my spit.
I'm hungry.
Not anymore.
On a different note, and kind of good news, which is weird. Miss Marvel. Is it Miss Marvel? Say it's good.
They say that?
They say.
Who's they?
Them. They, them.
Ah. They, them. I cannot say anything against they, them.
I heard it's like well done for what it is.
That's not what I want to hear anymore.
But like compared to Obi-Wan and to that, it's way better.
I'm so tired.
So I want to watch it. I heard it's
Just
like
watch it for me.
okay.
You're my proxy.
Okay, I'll come back next week. I'll be dressed in Miss Marvel outfit.
Not even sized up her size.
Can you tell I'm a fan? All right. It's time for a section that we probably don't have anything to say, but it's time for a section we like to call Really Be Bussin'. Anything?
Post Malone,
Oh, yeah.
average. I heard rumors it was like his last album for label, but like I'm so tired of that story now. You know, they're just it's the same story, but it's a short album compared to the one before. And like all his other albums were pretty like hour 20 ish. This is like 40 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So I thought it would be a little more
Maybe.
precise.
Oh, okay.
But it's like if you like Post Malone, you like this, but he does not do anything innovative. And if anything, he's done more innovative in the past.
Yeah, I went through the album once, listened to a couple songs more than once.
There's songs that are good, but not like Next Step.
Yeah.
Good. which is all I ask.
Yeah, that Doja Cat girl, she's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
She like knows how to make her sound
She knows how
good.
to be on a beat and like the energy it needs,
Yeah,
which is,
half the game,
yeah.
more than half actually. Yeah, I heard the same thing about label dispute and all that kind of stuff. And I also think like with all of that, I am also tired just like you, but I would think that a creative wouldn't just put out bad.
Especially after, I think this is like the longest between albums ever for him.
Uh-huh.
Besides like when he was 2 years old and never made an album.
Uh-huh.
I just think like, I don't, if it is a label thing, like just get over it, make the music, even though before I said labels should die. But if you're already stuck in there, you might as well just live with the fact that you're stuck for one more album and then just poop out your best work ever. Like what's with the mental block of thinking like, oh, they're going to own my work. Like if you're doing it just for art, then really ownership doesn't really matter too much.
Mm-hmm.
Ownership matters if you want to profit, but
And you'll still profit, just not as much as if
Yeah.
you owned it.
and if you just make the good album, you're out of the contract, and then next one, people are going to be clamoring for whatever you're making next. It's just like stupid decisions if that's the reason why he made this album not as good, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's just like he doesn't
Loss of-
have. I think artists right now don't have it, whatever it is.
They need some awakening, like a hammer to the head or something.
They need less money. Here comes the recession, baby. It's good. We need hard times. Hard times make hard men.
Yeah. I don't know. They're just, I think if/when recession hits, all these artists are going to be washed away because people are going to realize how materialist it is. They're going to be like, how about I listen to something nice, not about drugs or money or
Yeah.
women or things. Like that's the biggest awakening. Like once that genre is gone, that's like a brand new era for rap or music in general.
I think that'll never happen.
Well, I
'Cause
think a
we've-
recession would.
No, yeah. I just don't think society will ever smarten up that much because there's
I think
always
it's in
young.
waves.
There's always young people, and young people
Yeah.
are always dumb, and they like dumb music.
But I think in waves we smarten up and then we'll get stupid. Cause like we're smart as heck for people 100 years ago. Like what was? I don't know. I lost that. But our problems today are like their dreams from 100 years ago, right?
But in creative terms,
What do you mean?
creative terms, as far as like art.
Well, I mean, it's hard to be an artist back then because they didn't have the internet and they didn't have so much access to being creative. Like, they're all writers at best. Like, that was the creative outlet back then. Like, what other outlet was there in the 20s?
I'm just talking about like. There's always an influx of controversial controversial musicians that come in every decade,
Yeah.
and that never changes.
Yeah.
Whether it's Elvis, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath,
When
Guns
was
N' Roses.
the last controversial artist?
The last controversial artist
XXX
is-
Tentacion.
no
Close.
is Lil Nas X, as far as their music that they put out.
I guess.
And it's not even like,
Man, I want to watch the Elvis movie.
yeah, me too. It's not like Elvis. It wasn't so much his lyrics; it's his gyrating hips,
His sexuality.
his sexuality emanating from his gyrating hips.
So Nas is the gay Elvis in a way.
Yep.
I guess, but like even his controversy feels like dated. Maybe Elvis felt dated at the time. Because it feels like so stupid to get mad over just a gay guy being gay.
Yeah, but we live in San Diego.
Are you saying I'm privileged? Don't tell me I'm privileged. Don't put that evil on me.
If you lived in Texas, you would feel a tiny bit different.
I'm saying to the modern
Man.
Yes, the very general, like, modern sensibility of, like, do right and do wrong. Like, what's actually bad, what's good.
But you think too high, like, you think, like, everyone doesn't think like that.
I think they do.
No.
I think people, beneath all their addiction and suffering, they think that way.
They do, but they don't think about life that way on a daily basis. It's like underneath it all. Shout out to Gwen Stefani, right? Underneath it all.
Sounds like Little Mermaid.
Rap, vulgar music that isn't good for the public will always win. But that's where creativity spawns out of. And the recession's going to come, and there's going to be another wave of creative innovation, but it will also be what we consider, or what many people consider, vulgar.
I don't think we've had any real controversial figure in anything for a long butt time.
Kanye West, 6ix9ine.
6ix9ine is like, that's nothing. He was a blip.
Was he though?
Yes.
A lot of people died.
6ix9ine?
Yeah.
Colorful?
King Von?
Colorful guy?
Yeah. He made fun of King Von after he died. That's kind of controversial.
But that's not the controversy. I'm saying like the controversy that pushes people forward.
I would say Lil Nas X is kind of that, because people are like, oh, you can be gay in public. You can be
Yippee.
massively gay in public.
Yippee. I guess if anything, but I think it's just like countries outside of us have discovered being gay in public is perfectly fine like 30 years ago.
Not really.
Other countries have,
Yeah, but not that many.
but
Like a majority of the world see gay people
yes,
less than.
but if we're America, innovation, how are we 30 years behind culturally?
We're not 30 years behind.
I feel like we are because we don't have anything.
We do.
We don't have anything, Adrian.
You're just old.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, and you're out of touch.
No, I'm not. I'm
You're
never out of touch.
You read books, man. You're out of touch.
Too far.
Listen. This is the point. Hip hop is dying. Something will replace it,
Yeah.
and you won't even realize it.
I'll
And it's-
realize it.
And it's probably happening right now.
No, it's not.
And B, music sucks right now.
Yeah.
And C, it probably doesn't suck. We just probably suck.
Nah. Because if TV is still amazing at times,
Not really.
Succession, that's like the best show that's ever been made.
No.
Come on.
Mad Men?
It's up there. And people say Sopranos is better than Mad Men. But I'll be like, nah, Mad Men's better. But I see the...
Well, one out of how many?
What do you mean?
One out of how many shows is good?
There's a lot of good shows.
What, name one that you've rewatched recently or seen recently other than Succession?
But that doesn't matter because I know there's good shows that I don't watch. Like, I know Apple TV has like 3 good shows that I will not watch because it's on Apple TV. Mr. Robot, that was like, I haven't watched it because it's super dark and I feel like I'll be super depressed after I watch it. I don't know. There's comedies I rewatch, but there's no more good TV comedies.
All right. Let's nail the butt on the head. What is your final word on this say?
I just think there's going to be an awakening, and I trust the people to see that.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
You sound like a cult leader.
One day.
One day you'll be a court leader?
Yeah.
What's your group?
Name?
Yeah.
The Ivans.
That's what the cult leader will say. Yep, you check off the
Everyone's
list.
named Ivan, so we're all equal.
Yep.
We'll all be shaved everywhere.
Yep.
Completely. No,
Yep.
not even like lasered. Zoom.
Complete hair removal.
Yes.
Yep.
No clothes.
Okay.
Just some undies.
Okay.
Like Borat.
All
Goes
the way
all the
up?
way up. Just to cover the bits for like every gender.
Okay.
So everyone's completely
Undisturbed.
a bit.
Okay.
And then we just have fun, you know?
All right.
We just chill, watch
Like, all
movies.
right, guys, let's have fun.
All dressed awkwardly, shaved, hairless.
I don't know what you want. That says something about you if you want everyone completely hairless in undies.
I just want everyone to look equal.
Trust me, they will not look equal. All right, guys. This was another episode of Peliculas with the Bros. We talked about Jurassic Park and Ivan's cult leader status. We'll be back next week with another amazing movie called Jurassic World Dominion.
Jesus.
Tune into that. Ivan, any party words for the beautiful people?
Nah.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.